Have you ever needed to know something, anything, and you just typed it into Google? Maybe it was a recipe. Maybe it was the weather. Maybe it was a word you did not understand. Of course you have. We all have. Google is always there. It is fast. It is free. It never asks you for money. But stop for a moment. You open Google every day. Millions of people open Google every day. Someone built this. Someone pays for the computers, the electricity, the people who work there. So where does the money come from? If you are not paying, who is? To understand where Google's money comes from, we have to go back to the beginning. It is 1996. Two young men are sitting in a small room at Stanford University in California. Their names are Larry Page and Sergey Brin. They are students. They are researchers. And they have an idea. The internet is growing fast. Every day, new websites are appearing. Thousands of them. Then hundreds of thousands. It is like a giant library where someone keeps adding new books every hour. But there is no system. There is no order. If you want to find something, it is very difficult. Larry and Sergey want to fix this. They build a program. This program looks at websites and asks a simple question: how many other websites link to this one? Their idea is this: if many people point to something, it is probably important. It is probably useful. So it should appear higher in the results. They call this program Backrub. Yes, really. That is its first name. The room where they work smells of coffee and old computers. They use second-hand machines. They borrow hard drives from friends. They are not thinking about money. They are thinking about one thing only: finding the best answer. In 1998, they changed the name. They call it Google. The word comes from Google, a number so large that most people cannot even imagine it, a 1 followed by 100 zeros. They choose this name because they want to organize an almost infinite amount of information. They move out of the university. They start a real company. A few people believe in them and give them money to begin. And the product works. People use it. People love it. But there is a problem. Google is free, and it costs a lot of money to run. The computers, the buildings, the people, all of it costs money every single day. Larry and Sergey know they need a way to earn money, but they do not want to make their search results dishonest. They do not want to sell the top positions to the highest bidder. They believe in honest results, clean results. The best answer at the top. Always. So in those early years, Google is a little lost. It has millions of users. It has almost no income. It is one of the most visited websites in the world, and it does not know how to pay its own electricity bill. This is where the story gets interesting, because the answer, when it finally comes, will be so simple and so powerful that it will change the entire internet forever. If you are enjoying this story, please subscribe to Calm English Journeys. It helps us make more stories like this one for you. Just press the button. It means a lot to us. The answer did not come all at once. It came slowly, and it came from watching someone else. Before Google, there was a smaller company called Go2.com. This company had a simple idea. It let businesses pay money to appear at the top of search results. The more a business paid, the higher it appeared. It was like buying a better shelf position in a shop. Google watched this, and they saw something important. People were already searching for things they wanted to buy. A person types best running shoes. Another person types cheap flights to Paris. Another types dentist near me. These are not just questions. These are signals. They tell you exactly what someone wants right now, in this moment. This was valuable, very valuable. In 2000, Google launched something new. They called it AdWords. Here's how it worked. A business could come to Google and say, when someone searches for running shoes, I want my advertisement to appear next to the results. Google would show the advertisement. But, and this is the key part, the business only paid when someone actually clicked on it. This sounds simple, but it was a revolution. Before this, advertising was a guessing game. A company would pay for a television advertisement, and hope that the right people were watching. They would pay for a billboard on a busy road and hope that drivers noticed it. They were throwing their message into the air and hoping it landed somewhere useful. Google changed this completely. With AdWords, a business only reached people who were already looking for exactly what they sold. No guessing, no hoping. Pure precision. Imagine a small shop owner. She sells handmade leather bags. For years, she could not afford big advertising. Television was too expensive. Magazines were too expensive. But now, she could pay Google a small amount every time someone who searched for handmade leather bags clicked on her advertisement. She is reaching exactly the right person at exactly the right moment. Her fingers move across the keyboard. She sets her budget. She waits. And the orders begin to come. This is what made AdWords so powerful. It worked for small businesses just as well as big ones. And Google kept improving the system. They looked at which advertisements people clicked on most. They ranked advertisements not just by how much a business paid, but also by how useful and relevant the advertisement was. A cheaper advertisement that people actually clicked on could beat a more expensive one that people ignored. This meant that good advertisements rose to the top. Businesses were happy. Users saw relevant results, and Google earned money every single time someone clicked. The numbers grew quickly. In its first full year, AdWords brought in a little over $70 million. Just a few years later, that number would be measured in billions. Google had found its engine, not a search engine, a money engine, hidden quietly behind the simple white page that everyone used every single day. And it was only just beginning. There is something Google never said out loud. Not in those early years. Not in their advertisements. Not in their friendly, colorful logo. But it was always true. When something is free, you are not the customer. You are the product. Think about it slowly. Google gives you search. It gives you Gmail. It gives you Maps. It gives you YouTube. All of it free. No monthly bill. No payment page. Nothing. But Google is one of the most valuable companies in the world. It earns hundreds of billions of dollars every year. That money has to come from somewhere. It comes from you, not from your wallet. From something more personal than that. It comes from your attention and from your data. Every time you search for something, Google learns about you. You search for flight prices to Tokyo. Google knows you want to travel. You search for back pain exercises. Google knows your body is hurting. You search for baby clothes. Google knows something new is coming into your life. This information is collected. It is organized. It is used to build a picture of who you are, what you want, and what you are likely to buy next. Then that picture is sold. Not sold directly to strangers. Google does not hand your name to anyone, but advertisers can say, show my advertisement to people who are interested in travel, or show it to new parents, or show it to people between 30 and 40 years old who live in big cities. Google knows exactly who those people are, because Google has been listening. This is the hidden cost. The room is quiet. The screen glows softly in the dark. You type your question. You feel like you are alone, thinking privately, but you are not alone. Every word you type is being read, not by a person, by a system, a very large, very fast, very silent system. For many people, when they first truly understand this, it feels uncomfortable. A young man once realized something. He searched for a pair of headphones one evening. He did not buy them. He just looked. The next morning, he opened a news website. There were the headphones. He opened a cooking website. There they were again. He checked the weather. Still there. He had not told anyone he wanted them, but somehow the internet already knew. This is called retargeting, and it is one of the most powerful tools in Google's system. It follows your attention across the internet, reminding you of things you looked at, pulling you back toward a decision. This is not an accident. It is a design, and this is the part of the story that makes people pause. because Google did not build a search engine and then find a way to make money. Google built a system for understanding human desire. The search engine was the door. The advertising machine was always what waited inside. You came for answers. You stayed because the answers were good. And quietly, without ever asking, the system learned everything it needed to know about you. That is the real product. Not the search results, not the map directions, not the free email. You are. Something interesting happens when a system works very well. It does not stay in one place. It spreads, and Google's advertising system worked better than almost anything the business world had ever seen. So it spread, quietly, completely, into almost every corner of the internet you use today. Let us follow the path. In 2006, Google bought a small video website called YouTube. At the time, YouTube was popular but losing money. It had millions of viewers and almost no income. Sound familiar? It was the same problem Google had in its early years. But now Google had the answer. It brought its advertising system with it. Suddenly, every video you watched could carry an advertisement. And every advertisement was targeted. It knew your age. It knew your interests. It knew what you had searched for that morning. YouTube did not just become profitable, it became one of the most powerful advertising platforms in the world. Then there was Gmail. Google offered free email with more storage than anyone else. People moved to it happily. But Gmail also reads your emails, not a person, a system, and uses that information to show you more relevant advertisements. You write to a friend about your upcoming holiday. Suddenly, hotel advertisements appear. Then Google Maps. Free navigation for the entire world, but businesses pay to appear on that map. They pay to be shown first when you search for a restaurant or a pharmacy nearby. The map is free for you. It is a paid platform for them. Today, Google's parent company is called Alphabet. It earns around $200 billion every year. More than 80% of that comes from advertising. Think about that number. 80%. All of it built on the same simple idea. Learn what people want. Show them a relevant advertisement. Charge the advertiser when someone clicks. And this model did not stay inside Google. It moved across the entire internet. Facebook built the same system. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Almost every free platform you use today is running on the same engine. Your attention is the fuel. Advertisers are the paying customers, and you are the road they drive on. A small business owner in a quiet town types carefully on his old laptop. He is setting up his first Google advertisement. He chooses his words. He sets his budget, $20 a day. He clicks confirm. Within hours, people 3 streets away are seeing his name on their phones. He did not need a television commercial. He did not need a magazine page. He just needed to understand what his customers were already searching for. This is the world Google built. A world where a tiny shop and a global corporation stand on the same advertising platform, where the price of entry is not money, it is relevance, and where the currency that keeps everything moving is human attention. Outside, the city is loud. Screens glow in every window, and behind every search, every video, every free map direction, the same quiet system is running, watching, learning, waiting for the next click. There's a word we use a lot when we talk about the internet. Free. Free search. Free email. Free maps. Free videos. We say it easily. We hear it and we feel comfortable. We feel like we are receiving something good, something generous, something with no cost at all. But now you know something different. You know that free is not really free. It is just a different kind of price. Not money, something else, something quieter, something you give without opening your wallet, without signing a contract, without ever being asked. You give your attention. You give your habits. You give the small private questions you type into a search box late at night when no one else is watching. And here's the strange thing. Most people are fine with this, truly. The search engine is useful. The map is useful. The email is useful. The trade feels fair. Or at least, fair enough. We receive something real. And we give something we can barely see being taken. This is not a story about villains. Larry and Sergey did not build something evil. They built something that worked. Something that answered questions, connected people, and helped small businesses reach their customers. The world is genuinely better for many of the things they created, but the story asks us to look more carefully, not with anger, just with open eyes. Because once you understand how the system works, you start to see it everywhere. The free app that knows your location, the free game that shows you advertisements, the free news website that tracks every article you read, all of it running on the same quiet engine, all of it watching, learning, remembering. We live inside a machine that was built to understand us, and it has become very, very good at its job. There is something almost poetic about it. Humans have always wanted to be understood, to be seen, to have someone know what they need before they even ask. Google built exactly that, and then it sold that understanding, piece by piece, to the highest bidder. You are known. You are just not the one who benefits from being known. Sit with that thought for a moment, not with fear, not with anger, just with awareness, because awareness changes things, quietly, slowly, but it does. Picture this. A child sits at a table. She opens a laptop. She types a question into a search box. The answer appears in seconds, like magic. She smiles. She does not think about the system behind it. She just feels the small joy of finding what she was looking for. The screen glows softly in a quiet room, and somewhere, far away, in a building full of servers and blinking lights, the system adds one more small piece to everything it already knows. Leave a comment below. Tell me, did you know this about Google before today? Or is this the first time you are seeing it this way? I read every comment. I would love to know what you think. And that is our story for today, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you learn something new. Keep listening, keep growing, and I will see you again very soon in our next story. Take care, my friends. Goodbye.